Hey guys, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and today I'm going to solve a classic Sudoku created by Bondye. This Sudoku was posted on the CTC Discord server and I saw that this was solved by only one person. I'm not even sure that it is a person because I'm seeing his tick, whenever the puzzle is completed, there is a tick underneath that, and the number of ticks is equal to the number of persons who have completed the Sudoku. And I see this person's name under each and every Sudoku, and his name is or her name is Yakpao. I probably think it is a bot who puts a tick in under every Sudoku or puzzle. I'm not really sure though if it's actually a person who is solving the puzzles. So I was curious, why wasn't this solved by many people? This was posted around, I'm not sure, like today, I think, but still, it was strange that a classic Sudoku was not solved by many people. So I thought of solving this for you guys. And before making this video, I attempted this Sudoku and I found one particular step which was really hard to see, and after which the Sudoku fell rather fast. But I'm not certain that that is the intended step, so that leaves a lot of room for you guys to find what may be the intended step in the Sudoku. So wait until that moment. You guys will love that step. And let's move on to the Sudoku now. The rules are simple. Each row, column, and 3 by 3 box of the grid will have digits from 1 to 9 without any repetitions. Those are the rules. And the title of the Sudoku is called Flanking. I'm not sure why. And that's about it. And just one more thing, if you guys are regularly watching the videos, please subscribe to the channel. About 60% of the viewers are watching without subscribing to the channel. Please subscribe because it would be really difficult for us to sustain, to continue producing videos on a daily basis without seeing growth. So if you guys are really enjoying the content, please subscribe. So the subscription button is under the video. Hit the subscribe button below and shows your support. We'll really appreciate that. Okay, so let's go on to start solving the Sudoku. So you can see that it has a nice, circular kind of pattern and some givens around that. Okay, so I know how this Sudoku works exactly. So I'm going to show you guys the exact solve path. Okay, row 2, row 3. There is a 5 as given, and there is a 5 in column 5 that gives me a 5 here, and that gives me a 5 in these 3 cells, which I'm not going to pencil mark. Okay, if you look at row 8 and column 8, you have 2 4 as givens, right, which means that there are exactly 2 cells for us to mark the 2 4 pair. So I've marked the 2 4 into those cells. And let's mark a few corner pencil marks here and there just to get the solve going. So if we have a 5 in column 2, 5 in row 5, so that gives me a 5 in one of these 2 cells. So I would ideally we would have liked to mark pointing pair kind of pencil marks, but we are just left with these kind of pencil marks. This box has 4 possibilities for the 5. This box has 3 possibilities. This box has 3 possibilities. Okay, so there is no more interesting stuff that you can do with 5s. Let's look at some other given digit. There is a 6 in column 5, 6 in row 5, which means 6 must go in one of these 2 cells. And similarly, you can do the same thing here, 6 in column 2 and 6 in row 2. That gives a 6 in one of these 2 cells. And 6 in box 3 has 4 possibilities. 6 in box 6 has 4 possibilities again. And box 7 has again 4 possibilities. Box 8 has again 4 possibilities. Okay, there is no use marking the sixers further. Let's look at maybe the 3s. We have 3 givens which are 3s. So 3 is in column 3, 3 is in row 1. right? Which means that 3 must go in one of these two cells. 3 is in column 7. I'm sorry, I earlier said that 3 is in column 3, right? 3 was in column 7, 3 was in row 1. And 3 is in column 7, 3 is in row 6, which means 3 must be in one of these 3 cells. And I'll explain to you guys why I took an exception here and marked 3 cells with 3's, right? So I'll tell you guys shortly. So you have 3 in row 6, 3 in column 3, that gives a 3 in one of these two cells. 3 in row 7, 3 in column 3, again 3 in one of these 3 cells. So again you'll notice that I marked 3 3's in these cells. So 3 in column 4, 3 in row 7, that gives a 3 in one of these two cells. And in box 2 we can mark the 3's to one of these two cells. So when I was solving prior to making this video, I instantly got to know that after marking the pencil mark of 3's like these, I knew that you can easily eliminate 2 possibilities of 3's from the boxes which have 3 possibilities, and that was because I have seen a pattern in some Sudoku previously. I don't know which Sudoku, and in that Sudoku there were exactly 2 instances of a digit, and in the other boxes, except 2 boxes, you had 2 possibilities of the same digit, and in exactly 2 boxes you had 3 possibilities. And in 2 of those boxes with 3 possibilities, one of the possibility was eliminated. So I thought, why not apply the same and see if that works here, and that worked here. So if this cell is a 3, what happens? See, the 3 in box 4 goes here, 3 in box 6 goes here, 3 in box 3 goes here, 3 in box 2 goes here, and look where the 3 goes in box 8. So this is not exactly a linear path. You can start with the 3 here and try to go along this direction, mark this cell as a red and continue the sequence, and you'll notice that you get a contradiction in some other box. Eventually you can conclude that there is always a contradiction whichever way you go when you have a 3 in row 9 column 1. So the 3 can be eliminated from that cell, right? So similarly, you would have guessed by now, this cell cannot be a 3. So if this cell is a 3, now let's go along this direction for a change. You have 3 here, you have 3 here, you have 3 here, and in this box you have the 3 here. And now you'll notice that box 3 does not have any 3 left, right? So which means that this is not a 3. So I can remove the 3 from this cell. And that leaves exactly 2 possibilities of 3 in the remaining boxes, except box 1 and box 9. And you can't do anything further with these 3's because these are just, they'll just switch locations. Depending on which 3 you start with, they'll just, switch locations. So this is not going to help. Let's continue to see if we can do something useful. Okay, you can place a 7 as a given digit here. 7 is in column 1, 7 is in column 3, 7 is in row 4. This could have been done at the start. 7 goes here, and that gives us 7 in one of these two cells. And 7 is in row 3, 7 is in column 6, so 7 goes in one of these two cells. Okay, there are no more useful boxes, and by useful I mean boxes which have 2 or less than 2 possibilities of 7. So we can start writing candidates here. It was about this point that I switched my style and started making candidates inside cells. So we can start writing candidates at this point. So I'm going to primarily focus on cells which have 3 or less than 3 candidates. I'm not going to write any candidates in any cell where the possibilities are more than 3. So where do I start? This seems to be a good place because right away you can eliminate 6 digits, 1, 6, 7, 8 and 4 and 5, which means these two cells must be 2, 3, 9. You can't have a 3 here, so that gets even reduced. That's a 2, 9. that would be 239. And even this cell is limited 3, 5, 7, 4, 6 and 8. So this must be a 1, 2 or a 9. Sorry guys, you can place a digit here, right? This should have been placed at the start. So that was a little bit, careless from me. So 2 is in row 2, 2 is in column 5. So 2 goes here and that eliminates the 2 from here. So that becomes 1, 9. So look at this cell, can't be 3, 5, 7, can't be 1, 9, can't be 4, 6. So this would be a 2 or 8. And both of these cells have more than 3 possibilities. So I'm not going to pencil mark those cells. And look at this cell, 3, 5, 7, 1, 2, 6. So this can only be a 4, 8 or 9. And this cell 3, 7, 8, 5 and 9 and 2 and 6. Superb. So this has only 2 possibilities. This is going to be 1 or 4. And these two cells, yeah, this cell 3, 5, 7, 1, 2, 8. So this must be 4, 6, 9. 3, 5, 7, 1, 8, 9. This must be 2, 4, 6. So entire box 5 is populated with candidates. Let's slowly look at this cell 1, 6, 7, 8, 3 and 9. So this must be a 2, 4 or a 5. 3, 7, 8, 9, 2 and 4. This must be a 1, 5 or a 6. So I'm strictly focusing only on cells which have 3 or less than 3 candidates, right? So let's look at this box, 3, 6, 8, 2, 4. So 1, 5, 7, 9 can't have 5, 9 in column 9. So that's 1, 7. 7, 9, that's 1, 5. And both of these cells, you'll see that have as 4 candidates. So slowly we are, depleting cells which have fewer possibilities. Very soon we'll see the sticky logic that I'm going to show you guys. So look at this box. 1, 2, 6, 5 and 8. You have 7, 9. So this must be 3, 4. You have a 3 here. That must be a 4, 7, 9. This must be a 4, 7, 9. And this must be a 3, 4, 9. So I'll write a few more candidates, and after which I don't think there is anything useful to make in the grid rather than hitting the logic that I reduced. So in box 1 we have 3, 5, 7 and 4 and 6 in column 2. So these two cells can only be 1, 2, 8 or a 9. You can't have 1 and 2 here, so that's 8 and 9. And this cannot be 8, so this would be 1, 2, 9. And 3, 5, 7, you can't have 2, 6 in row 2, so this also can't be 8, so that's 1, 4, 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 2 and 6, so that's 4, 8 and 9. And this cell 1, 2, 5, 7, 3 and 8, so this must be 4, 6 and 9. This one has 4 possibilities, so I'm not going to write that. Okay, so this is precisely the point, or more or less the point where I use the logic. So I'll show you guys the tough step, and the reason I'm using it in my solve is because after this step the Sudoku fell very quickly, as I mentioned at the start. So but it didn't feel to be a logical step. So I would really appreciate if you guys, our dear viewers, find something else at this point, something which can be cataloged as a technique beautifully. I'll really be happy to know from you guys. So if you want to pause the video at this point and maybe find different logic, or you can try to continue the Sudoku from this point and try to find the different logic. Okay, So I'll show you what logic I used at this point. I deduced that this cell can never be a 3. I actually deduced that this cell would always be a 4, and which means that it cannot be a 3. And how did I do that? The first thing I saw was 1 is going in one of these two cells, right? So what happens if I have a 1 here? Right now we are going to see what happens if that is a 1. Okay, so before that I'll show you what happens if this cell is a 1. That would be better. So if this cell is a 1, you get a 1 in one of these two cells due to classic, and that gives us a 1-7 pair which pushes the 3 here, pushing the 3 here, and giving a 4 here, right? So that was simple to see, no difficulty. Now what happens if this is a 4? If this is a 1, we saw that this is a 4 by using a sequence of deductions. What happens if that cell is a 4? This is a little bit difficult to see, and I had to think quite a bit here. If this is a 4, I'll use a green again. Now look what happens to 4s. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, I have to show you this pair before that. You have a 4-5 in row 5 and 4-5 in column 5. I remember making this pair, right? So 4-5 goes in one of these two, in these two cells, and which means that this would be 2-3-9. Okay, and now we are on the right path. So if this is a 4, that becomes a 4, and the 4 in row 2 goes in one of these two cells, right? Because of this 4, the 4 in box 2 row 2 goes in one of these two cells, and which means that this 4 and this 4 gives a 4 here, which in turn gives a 4 in row 3 here, which in turn gives a 4 here, and which in turn gives a 4 here, and that removes the 4 from here, giving a 4 here, which I'll make as yellow, not this one, this one. So we saw that when this is a 1, this was a 4, and if this is a 4, that is still a 4. And this thing I deduced visually, guys. Believe it or not, I saw how the 4 worked all through the grid. I didn't do anything except saw 4 all through the grid, and I didn't even know that this cell would be a 4, but somehow it clicked in my brain that okay, when I have a 1 there, that was a 4, and when I had a 4 there, that was still a 4. And so I continued using that logic. I was not happy with seeing this step, but I thought okay, there is nothing I was able to find at this point, so I used that step, and after that the Sudoku fell instantly, guys. So look what happens. So this is a 4 as we deduce now, and I'm going to remove all the greens. So okay, that's not a green, and this is a 4, and that gives a 3 here. Oops, which gives a 3 here. All the 3s are just like that getting resolved. That gives a 3 here, that gives a 3 here, that gives a 3 here, that gives a 3 here. So we've got all the 3s in the grid, right? That was fantastic. And now look how magically the Sudoku is going to solve. So this is not a 3, that's a 2, 9. You can remove 4 from all these cells because we got a 4 as a digit in row 2. And now you see that we have an 8-9 pair. And this was what really turned the Sudoku on its head, guys. This 4, you get an 8-9 pair which gives you a 1 here. And 1 and 9, remove the 1 and 9 from here, this becomes a 2. Which means this would be a 9. This would be 8. That would be 9. And 9 here gives me a 2 here. That gives an 8 here. So we are getting a flurry of digits just like that. And okay, so 7-9 pair is left out in these two cells, and that can be instantly resolved. So that's a 7, that's a 9, and remaining digits in box 1 are 4 and 6. Oh, row 2 can be completed, so that becomes 8. Okay, these two cells for column 6 must be 2, 6, which is resolved with the help of this. That's a 6, that's a 2. Okay, column 2 can be completed. That's a 1. Okay, 7 can be placed in box 8. 7 goes here due to classic. And even 8 can be placed, right? 8 has only one cell left. So 8 goes here. And you can ask yourself where the 8 goes in row 7. 8 goes here. So you can see that it's just about finding hidden or naked singles now. Did we do anything else? Nothing, right? We just found that this is a 4. We got a pair. We just kept on writing digits. And you'll notice that this is the story till the end of the song. So 1, 4, 8, 3 and 7. Remaining digits are 2, 5, 6, 9. You can't have 2 here, can't have 2 here. That's a 2. And that gives a 4. That gives a 2. That gives a 2. 2, 7, 8, 3, 6, 9. So 4 goes here in these 3 cells. So we have a 1, 5 pair. And now 1, 3, 4, 5, 2, 7, 8. We need 6, 9. So that's a 9, that's a 6. This would have to be a 4. That becomes 1. 4, 5 can be resolved. That's a 5. That's a 4. That's a 6. That's a 4. 1, 4, 8, 2, 3, 7. So 5 goes here. And that gives a 9 there and a 6 here. 5, 1 can be resolved. 5, 1. That has to be a 7. 3, 4, 8, 2, 6, 7. So we get a 1 here. 5 here and a 9 here. 1 and 5 gives me a 6. And only digit is a 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So 7 goes here. 1 goes here. 8 goes here. And column 9 can be completed. So 4, 5, 8, 9, 2, 3, 6. We need 1 and 7. 7 is here. So that's a 7. That's a 1. And that's a 6. And that's a 9. And with that, we have completed this razor sharp Sudoku by Bondye. And I wonder why this was named flanked. Flanked, the title of the Sudoku. Maybe it had to do some logic with some logic that was supposed to be found. So what do you think, guys? Is this the intended step of the author? Is there something better that you can do in the Sudoku? Please let us know. Your thoughts and comments will be happy to hear. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.